Hello and welcome along to the Where's My Kit Bag podcast here, hosted by the three lovely media technicians of the Sixth Form College Farnborough with myself, James.
Me, Will.
And me, Steve.
So, we are here. Have we finally watched the films we're intending to watch, boys?
Yes.
We'll find... save that for later in the episode.
Sorry. Will had it like on the tip of his tongue. It could have been amazing.
Well,
well, we can always just like re-put the jingle back in. It'll be fine. No one will notice anything. Anywho, so Steve, talking of
spoiler Steve, we're going to call him now.
Spoiler Steve.
Well, at least you'll get to look forward to know the rest of this podcast has a nice ending.
Has a nice ending.
Well, yeah, because they're not going to get to the ending. I love to know their thoughts about said films, and then they get there really highly anticipating it, and then I have another excuse, which I don't actually, which is nice. So I'm So, I don't know.
I don't know either.
I jumped the gun slightly, but hey ho.
It's fine.
We didn't rehearse.
We can. This is unrehearsed, unfiltered content.
Whereas My Kit Bag podcast is presented in front of a non-live studio audience. Applause.
Yeah. Anyways, right,
let's
Steve,
crack to it.
Let's hear about the latest TechNet videos.
So, we are recording this as of Wednesday, and as you may have noticed, there isn't actually a video that went out on Monday due to the very sad Pegasus drive needing some maintenance. Real shame. Newsletter was delayed, and so forth was the uploading of this week's video, which was supposed to be an adaptive noise reduction video via Premiere Pro and Audition, which I've actually used myself already prior to upload, but...
behind the scenes content.
Yeah, it should be up before this podcast. So as of recording, it is it's not up, but as of publishing of the podcast, it will be up.
Yes.
So that's for this week. We do have a little plan ready for Easter, which would be good. So don't think that you're going to go 2 weeks without any TechNet content. I know a lot of you are very, very worried and anxious about that. We do plan to have a video each and every Monday, as we do promise. So we all each individually, as we need to fill 3 Mondays because we are not in for the third Monday, we all have a video to do. You could look for a Premiere Pro video in regards to just kind of getting into the interface, what's it all about, how to use it at a very basic level, a bite-sized tutorial, as I mentioned in the last podcast. Myself, I'll be doing a kind of sound syncing video, more to kind of show off what Premiere can do for you rather than you doing it yourself.
That's pretty amazing, isn't it? That can save you a lot of time.
That'll be a quick fire one, like a 2-minute Tuesdays, Casa Peter McKinnon. And what was it you were doing, James?
In the video that will be out by the time this is out.
Nice.
I'm talking into the future past.
Yeah.
I mentioned making a video about how to record noise or how to record noise as noise-free as possible. So that's what I'm going to make.
Nice.
So it'll be a little bit more practical. I'll steal these boys to be my stooges / actors / recording specialists.
Yeah.
And then, it's basically to hopefully stop you having to use the noise reduction to such an extreme in your shoots. Is
nice.
The plan. When you watch the video that will be released tomorrow, but today, but maybe in the past, you'll see I put in a basically like there'll be a link to a video now. Dramatic pause for effect. So then I'll put a link into that original video so you can go watch it.
Nice.
It should be quite a nice easy one.
So we're hoping to get some content. Hopefully all 3. You know, who knows what the next couple of days of college life will unfold prior to Easter.
Yep.
But that's what we're hoping to do. As for podcasts, well, you'll have to keep tuned in over Easter holidays. Who knows? But that's pretty much it for TechNet's update. Quite a nice little schedule coming up.
Nice. Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
So moving on with tech news with Mr. Dev.
Hello, and we're back with tech news. So, as we're already into April somehow, I'm not too sure how that kind of happened, but here we are. Obviously, we had April 1st happened. And obviously, all over social media, there was a lot of April Fool's content around. And the first kind of question I wanted to pitch to you guys was, what were sort of the best ones you saw out there that kind of caught your eye? Or maybe ones you fell for? Were there any that you actually fell for until it got to the punchline?
Well, I fell for one until Will told me that it was an April Fool's.
I was hoping you'd mention that one.
Oh God! And that started an awful spiral. So you showed me Jared Polin's video, Throw Nose Photos, kind of an update onto what's going on. The reason why I was sold on it is because I don't own Pentax and I don't really have an interest in Fuji cameras, and those were the first two articles that were very believable for someone who's not in that kind of world. So when it got to the Nikon camera grip, I just thought it was massively overpriced, but not at one point did I think that it was fake. And then I thought the Sony was just, the future. So I was very much sold. Slightly a bit, like, wow, this is just a lot to throw out. Like, where did it all come from? But I was never once skeptical, because to be honest, I'd completely forgot it was April Fool's. And I clicked off the video when he starts to do his roundup, so I didn't actually get to the part where he says it's all fake. So I clicked off it, went about my day. Will comes in and goes, "What do you think?" I was like,
Yeah, we had a proper conversation about it. I was like, yeah, the 8K on the Sony's really good, isn't it?
Proper sold me. I felt like a proper muppet. And it was only until we went look at the thumbnail, and the thumbnail is the camera grip is called the PEN15. And if any of you want to write that down, you'll see what that reads out. Yeah. And that's where I went, oh, it did seem a little too good to be true. And that camera grip was very expensive. But hey ho, there you go. I was completely sold by that. That was number one. There was maybe three I got sold by to begin with.
Gullible Steve.
There was that McDonald's pickle burger. You remember that came up on the?
Yeah.
That looked like a funny one.
And the milkshake.
Yeah, I couldn't do that.
Milkshake dip.
Oh, that was
McDonald's
brilliant. Yeah.
well.
Duck your fries and milkshake.
Yeah. And then it was I sent it both to you guys. I was sold on it for maybe the first 2 minutes, but it got to a point in the video where it was too obvious. It was the Nintendo Switch.
The Direct, wasn't it?
Direct, yeah.
That was an IGN video, I think that was.
Yeah, and I thought it was well put together, because to begin with it was very believable announcements, and then it got to a stage where the announcer, the presenter, looked at the camera and went, "And everything is coming to the Switch." And then I was like, oh.
And they just start firing off hundreds of games, like things from, and he's like, even the bad games are coming to Switch, and it's stuff from like 1970 and all. Just start appearing. It was all getting a bit crazy. But
yeah, I got a bit sour.
What about you, James? Anything from you?
I saw the phone company OnePlus.
Oh yeah,
are creating a car apparently to rival Tesla. Apparently, can go to a full charge in 20 minutes using their dash charging system. Looked very sleek. Looked like a phone, but in a car form.
Do they have like a concept?
No. Yeah, they had a video and everything on their Instagram page. It looked really sleek, and it basically looked like the classic when you want to draw like a sporty car, you can't really draw cars very well, so you just draw something like really streamlined. That
nice,
but with like a OnePlus icon on front, charges in 20 minutes, and it was just like loads of flashy graphics. So that looked quite fun. I kind of went, oh, I wish that was real. But they kind of went to town on, like, they changed the website for it, they changed their Instagram for it as well, putting like videos everywhere.
They were committed. Yeah, some companies
they went all in,
full out on it.
What was the other one I saw that I just remembered and now just forgotten? There were a couple. I mean, the Nintendo one was quite funny. Formula One made Formula Bark, a new race series for dogs, where you had like a King Charles Spaniel Ricciardo instead of Daniel Ricciardo. So I had lots of dog name puns, which was quite funny. And then they had again the video department went all out. They obviously manipulated a dog into a cockpit of a car, put a helmet on it.
Amazing.
It looked quite sweet and a little bit adorable as his nose pokes out the wind visor hole.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say there was anything that I was like fooled by. I was more just going, they've spent a lot of time and effort on this for just like a little prank. But no, I don't know otherwise.
Cool.
What about you, Will? Did you spot anything
the one
exciting?
Steve watched that I sent to him to watch.
Well, the Jared Polin one.
That one got me for the first sort of 2 minutes, until there's a point where he says, "Oh, Pentax took some large sensors and sawed them in half and put them in their new cameras." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then I realized to check the date, and I was like, "Okay, this is an April Fool's video." Thankfully, he clarifies it at the end of the video, but unfortunately, like Steve said, he skipped that bit. So
when he was talking about Pentax, I was kind of like, not really my interest. Like, those little keywords just flipped, because I think I was editing at the time, so I had it on the side. That was probably my downfall. I was listening to it and I was hearing the key good bits and completely glazing over the actual April Fool's bit that I was supposed to be getting. Either that, or I'm just very easily fooled.
It was good to hear your stories. That's nice. Moving on, we've got a bit of gaming news now, as we seem to do every week. I was reading an article online, and there's a body in the UK that basically regulates all sales of game software, consoles, any sort of gaming device or software gets put through this body. And they've just released a findings report for last year. So, total now, the UK gaming industry is worth 5.7 billion.
Wow.
And just some statistics of that. So, digital and online software bought from last year rounded up to about £2 billion in total, which is obviously is quite a lot. The next category, above boxed software. So this is stuff when you're going to game, you're buying a game on the disc.
Like me.
Yeah, exactly.
School.
It's now been overtaken by mobile games.
Wow.
So mobile games now accounts for £1.17 billion of our gaming economy. Boxed software is now down to 770 million.
That's just all me.
Yeah.
Here's my collection, 770 million's worth.
It's just shows you, doesn't it? Before there was no such thing as a digital download.
No, I mean, when I started gaming way back in, like the early 2000s, it was all discs.
Yeah.
PS2s.
Yeah.
PC gaming was again still just discs and stuff you had to install.
Well,
Steam wasn't really a thing.
Yeah, there was no storage space to put stuff like a whole game, was there?
My 4 gigabyte hard drive.
Yeah.
Windows like 98 on it. It's like just about play like FIFA 97.
So that I thought that was quite interesting. Mobile games, it just shows you. I think because it literally every person has a mobile phone, don't they? Everyone has access to some sort of app store.
Is that like Candy Crush and all that?
Exactly.
Kind of jazz?
Yeah, they make.
See, I don't play any of that anymore.
Yeah, but they make absolute fortunes on their in-game purchases.
Yep.
Imagine if you're stuck on a level for 2 weeks, and 50p can help you progress to the next one to only get stuck on that as well. But you're going to pay it, aren't you? You're not going to spend another 2 weeks of your life getting stuck on that. So, and there's all sorts like PUBG, Fortnite, they're all on mobile now.
Yeah.
They all still have in-game purchases.
I bet you that's really contributed to that.
Oh, I presume that's most of it, to be honest. Yeah. So that was quite interesting. A bit of a fan favourite from me, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. Don't know if any of you ever played those games. They were absolutely amazing.
Yeah, they didn't do a Winter Olympic version.
No, they didn't. No, but they have just announced that they're going to be doing one this year for the 2020 Tokyo Games.
Well, I'd be disappointed if they didn't, because that's, Nintendo's heartland.
Yeah. So this helps. I think this is coming to Switch, by the way.
Of course, yeah.
And
is it a Switch exclusive?
Possibly. There's 3. There's a mobile version, there's a game
Switch
version, and a Switch version. So
okay.
We'll see. However, I think this is nice. It fills a little spot in for me, at least, where I miss Wii Sports. I do. I miss the bowling, the tennis. There's some great games on there, and I think this might help fill that void a little bit.
I want to see Sonic the Hedgehog on a skateboard.
I mean,
skateboarding is in for the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo. That excites me. I hope Tony Hawk comes out of retirement to participate. But yeah, I'd love to see Mario and Sonic dueling, like doing kick flips off a vert ramp in Tokyo. That'd be amazing.
I'm excited. I think it's really fun.
Is this hype train worthy, Will?
Possibly. Let's do it. Lovely. All right,
the hype train is gone.
I'll just round off the news with Borderlands 3 announcement. That's coming out in mid-September. I know there's some big fans of Borderlands. There's quite a big cult following to that, so that's quite interesting news. And a big one for us is NAB starts at the Las Vegas Convention Center this weekend. So that is, in case anybody doesn't know, it's a massive, massive trade show in LA, and they show everything from camera gear, software, all sorts of tech is included there. There'll be lots of coverage from many YouTubers. I'm sure it'll be filling up anybody's feeds that are subscribed to people like Peter McKinnon. I'm sure will be going. So keep an eye on for that. We're expecting camera announcements, so we might have a lot to talk about that.
When
it comes
Easter.
back. Yeah,
yes.
Cameras, lenses, who knows. People were talking about those sort of like Canon models, how they might be making one more expensive one. People are saying that might get announced. Sony might have something coming, so it's just keeping an eye out for that, really. And that rounds up tech news.
Nice. I nearly misread NAB as NBA, and I was just like, why are we talking about basketball in tech news? Are the basketballs now like technologically advanced or something? got a little chip in them that tells them where they
yeah.
are. Be quite funny. Nice. Otherwise, moving on to a fan favourite. It's Film of the Week. So, Stephen Cale.
Hello.
Have you A, watched The Martian yet?
Oh, well, I feel like I've done myself a bit dirty here because I haven't actually seen The Martian, but I have watched Old Boy.
Hey! Stephen watched the film, everyone.
Hey, I would have seen The Martian, but I ended up going with Will on Monday to watch Us, which was very, very good. Maybe save that for another time. But yeah, I can see why everybody was eagerly anticipating, waiting for all of us to have watched Old Boy because, old boy.
Old boy.
Old boy. What a roller coaster that was, jeez.
Well, start us off, Steve. If you're starting with Oh Boy, Old Boy, which I'm now calling the podcast.
Well, it was, I don't know, like, it was a very well-rounded film in regards to, obviously, I'm going to assume anybody listening to this.
Oh, yeah, chuck that spoiler alert.
Yeah, hit that spoiler alert. It was as weird as this sounds, it was a beautiful illustration of how revenge is not as sweet as you think it's going to feel. I think that's the biggest thing I took from it. There was the elevator scene at the end of the film is so powerful, and I really, really enjoyed that kind of element of it. No matter how twisted and kind of sick it kind of was, I thought that you could apply that to literally anything. Obviously, that was quite an extreme degree, but I personally thought that element of the film and that kind of message was really strong. Like one of the strongest messages I've personally received without anybody having to tell me. Or talk about or whatever in filmmaking. I thought that was really, really strong, and the cinematography, more importantly, the sound as well. There was really, really good sound, especially in that scene, and when the gun's fired and all sound cuts out. Oh, really enjoyed
the cinematography. It's got quite I'd say it's got a grungy film feel to it.
Oh, that's a good way to describe it.
And there's a lot of funky edits in there, isn't there?
There was a few times where I feel like I'm getting onto this connotation quite early, but I was almost critiquing the cinematography until I started to think about why they've left it in. So the mirror scene, their names I'm not going to be able to pronounce, so I do apologise. So I'm going to call them the antagonist, which obviously we know is the captor, and the protagonist, which is the main character. Again, his name I cannot pronounce.
Odesu?
That's Odesu, yes.
Yep.
So Odesu, I'm going to roll with it. When he's in the mirror and the antagonist is getting dressed, etc., there's a really weird digital zoom, but they don't actually get Odesu in frame, and it's like they've locked off the tripod and then jerks it to the right.
Yeah.
And I thought that was weird, but I thought, okay, why would they do that? And I always thought that because he had no memory and because he was so lost in everything that was going on, maybe the camera movements weren't as aligned with him. So he was slightly jaded and jarred compared to everyone else who no one had anything like that personally from what I found. Correct me if I'm wrong. But anytime there was any like janky or weird camera movements, or in my opinion, what I thought from the naked eye to be mistakes, were always Odesu. Am I getting that right? Which I thought was interesting. I thought it was an interesting way to kind of show a dysfunctioned mind through cinematography. It was weird. I don't know. That was my personal take on it. I don't know if you guys agree.
I get exactly what you mean, Steve. Where you kind of got all the shots of him are all so like almost you're saying like kind of so sporadic and disparate from the other shots with the other characters in. It kind of puts you into his almost mindset of being that kind of wild. Kind of not kind of craze, but almost kind of like going that way.
He's a madman, isn't he?
Without context, I would have said they were mistakes. It was like poor filmmaking, so to speak. But when you add the context and you add the story to it, it's quite brilliant. Which is weird.
I think it just shows, any path of like vengeance upon another person is just, especially for that duration of time, just destroys you, doesn't it? That's what kind of they were showing. I'm quite interested to ask your guys' opinion on the Inception-esque ending of not knowing if it worked or not. The hypnotist.
After you, James.
It does. It has that little bit of Inception kind of vibe to it, where it's kind of thinking back on itself. I don't know. That's interesting. I haven't thought of it like in an Inception type of way.
Well, I mean, that's what it's hinting, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh God, now you're making me think again. Go on, Steve, hit me with something while I ponder my life.
I think it's an interesting one because the smile that kind of breaks down into tears. There's definitely some sort of agony in there. Could that be an argument that something so scarring to a person can never be forgotten? I don't know. Because I don't know.
Does hypnosis really work though? That's the question.
I mean,
or can it wear off?
I think that's the point of the shot,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's like whether it worked or not may be irrelevant because he's just broken, isn't he?
Yeah.
Completely.
Can you only forget so much?
But you could argue this was the one time that he was, I'm going to say sober, because at the start of the film with the gas constantly coming in, when you're in a weakened state of mind, you might be more susceptible to it.
Yeah.
I feel like after going through all that, maybe because you think during a weakened state of mind, you're easily hypnotized. Manipulated, exactly. That you'd hope it'd work again, and perhaps it didn't. I personally believe that it didn't. I'm with the kind of thing of he's just going to hold that secret until the end of days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is horrible.
It's kind of like a weird thing to think about, isn't it?
Especially now he's lopped off his tongue. He's definitely
really
definitely got that. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was a real. I curled my toes at that one.
Ooh.
But it was the acting was
he is
absolutely
insane.
So convincing.
Yeah.
So convincing. It was really raw, which I liked. Going back to last week when I said about the squid scene, yes, that was pathetic in comparison to the rest of it, though quite graphic in itself. I thought that was a really interesting point that you guys all touched on. I mean, yeah, it's such an interesting concept. I've never seen anything like it myself. I can see why it's been so heavily recommended.
I'd probably go for an 8.5. I think is my score. That's what I'm going to put it. I really liked it, and the more I think about it, the more I like it. It's just one of those sort of films.
Yeah, likewise. I mean, I think I'd need to see it again, knowing I'd like to have that frame of mind, kind of knowing the whole plot prior to watching it, and then seeing these things come through. But at a first watch, it was quite a strain on the mind. You had to be very switched on to keep it all together. Especially when during the big reveals, I thought, they revealed quite a lot very quickly.
Like from the photo album bit.
Yeah, I was confused for a long time to the point of I said to you, I was quite tired. I may have fallen asleep for upwards of a minute, 2 minutes, if that, because I checked my phone.
That's enough to throw you off, though, isn't it?
It made me think, have I missed like half the film? And I looked at my phone, I was like, I've been asleep for maybe a minute. I literally would have like started to doze and work. I went, oh my god, no, just because I had a long day.
But I'm so fed up of modern films treating the audience like idiots. So
True.
It's me and Jane were talking about this at the end of Us. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but they didn't necessarily have to go through all of that explanation of that twist. It could have just been a look from the child.
Yep.
I think there's having the audience almost participate in the narrative, or like staying along to it. For me, that's what kept me engaged, I think. There's different takes on it.
It's the classic show don't tell, isn't it?
It made the reveal that much more powerful, and I've never had something revealed that physically I said out loud, I was like, oh my god, jeez. During the reveal scene, and I couldn't, because I don't have children or anything like that, or I couldn't imagine anything like that. Like, it's hard. It's such an extreme. I couldn't personally, as a viewer, picture it, which is kind of messed up, which is interesting. Like, that whole situation is kind of crazy. But, I don't know. Slightly in awe of it. I don't know what I'd give it, to be honest with you, because fresh out of the mind, I'm so like, wow, you've outdone yourselves, because I'm very impressed with how it was all put together, etc. No current criticisms are coming to mind just yet, because I feel as if I've thought about them for long enough to then be able to justify them said criticisms. So I'd say around an 8.5. Likewise, I think maybe in a week I might have a definitive answer. Maybe might even go up slightly. But no, it was a very, very strong film. I could only recommend it.
I think there's probably a lot of stuff we missed, to be honest.
Oh,
or
absolutely.
like a lot of meanings we've missed and
Yeah.
stuff. So I think I might watch somebody like do like a little breakdown on YouTube of scenes and stuff and get a better idea of.
Yeah, I'd love to
What's
check out, even though I know it's awful in comparison, I'd love to check out what the Americans adapted it to be, because I think if anybody saw a piece of filmmaking or cinema like that and then thought, yeah, how are you going to make that better? And I'm curious to see what was going through somebody's mind to then go, yeah, we're going to try and do that. We're going to Americanize that. We're going to bring that to our culture and make it just as good. I'm just like, that's one film that I looked at and was like, no, it doesn't need anything else. It doesn't need rebooting, personally. So I feel like the time it was made in regards to the telephones and the internet and stuff was just the right amount that they could communicate, i.e. calling, is it Mido?
Yes. Yeah.
And suggesting, don't open the box. Very Seven vibes I felt there. Like, what's in the box? Like,
Yeah, for sure.
But I felt like, just a simple flip-up phone was sufficient there. I think, adapt that to 2019. Oh, get your iPhone out and, FaceTime me. What's in your box? Like, I think that perfect amount of communication and technology was good. I just don't see it working today. Is that weird?
Well, that's probably why it's
Yeah.
got like 5% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
It's bad. It is a bad.
I'm
bad,
curious to
right up.
check out what on earth people thought they were going to bring to the table that the original doesn't. Yeah.
Maybe should we set that as our film to watch then?
Yeah.
What,
perhaps.
Old Boy 2013.
Yeah. Why not do it
Ding,
back
ding,
to
ding,
back,
Fight Club.
and then we can talk about
Comparison between
presumably
the two.
how poor it is
How-
compared to the original.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing I did read up about the film, the whole 15-year thing at the beginning, where obviously he's stuck in the house. Apparently, in South Korea, if the police don't catch you after you've committed a crime for 15 years, the crime is forgiven.
Any crime?
Yeah, any crime.
I was
Apparently, if they don't catch you in 15 years, apparently all is forgiven, regardless of crime.
I mean, a couple of those
Could
things
throw a spanner in the works.
were spanners in the works, but in regards to getting him into that situation, and I thought science, bear in mind I'm no doctor, but if you punch walls for 15 years,
It's going to hurt your knuckles.
you're going to have some significant hand dysmorphia.
Yes.
But I don't really care.
No.
Is that weird?
Yeah.
Didn't really want to read into it all that much. I loved the very slight, I don't know if it was on him as an actor, the slight rounding of his knuckles. I don't know if you saw those shots.
Yes, yeah, where it's kind of like whiter, later on in the
I thought
film.
that was really, really nice, subtle touch.
There's a lot of things like that, isn't
Mm.
there? I think, especially on the actor's behalf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He deserves 11 out of 10 all day.
Oh yeah.
For the amount of stuff he went through.
The squid scene is pretty intense, especially
Yes.
when the tentacles start to really wrap
Oh.
around the hand. That's quite something. But yeah, I don't know what you'd give it out of 10, James. But
I mean, oh god, I think like you're saying, it's a case of I need to watch it again to really like Will's saying, like pick up all the extra kind of things that we've probably missed on the first run through.
yeah.
I think for me, going in not knowing anything at all was probably the worst choice. I think knowing a little bit about it might have helped me more understand everything going on. Whereas like quite a lot of obviously the films that we pick, I literally try and know nothing about. But I think this one needed a little bit of context beforehand. Just to make sense of like the time period, like South Korea, etc. Stuff about the 15 years and all that kind of thing might have helped possibly.
Yeah.
But I'd say I'd give it a very solid 8 to 9 out of 10,
Yeah.
and him an 11 out of 10, and Best Actor Oscar straight away.
Yeah, I feel like I forgot the pre-kidnapping a little bit too quickly, because obviously I knew that he was in a essentially in prison, so to speak, like a jail,
Yeah.
a holding of sorts.
Oh, at the beginning.
Yeah, but the telephone box scene when he was speaking to his daughter, that kind of went over my head later in the film, because it was only into the reveal that was, oh my god, oh yeah, he has a, like I know they were looking for her and stuff, but
that went so quickly.
Yeah.
In the pacing of the film, didn't
Yeah.
it? For me, that felt like that opening bit was 5 minutes.
Yeah.
If that. I think it was probably actually.
it made the reveal that much more powerful. I think maybe they touched on it subtly enough to embed it into your brain, but not enough for it to feel like it's sort of relevant
Like
information.
dead giveaway, yeah.
I thought that was strong because to begin with, I thought he was just going to do well, you know me, you know my secret, I'm going to do the same to you. I thought it was going to be Mido was going to be a sister. That was my thought for more or less the entirety of that final scene. It was only until I was when I realised the whole thing. The only thing I said to you, Will, was the whole plot could have been completely popped in the bin if the original girl who committed suicide, who jumped off the bridge to kind of spark the whole plot, if she just had the mentality of sticks and stones may break my bones, then the whole plot would never have happened. But
Yeah.
hey ho, you know.
Thus a film was born.
Thus a film was born. You know, rumours are rumours. Yeah, it happens. But yeah, crazy.
Nice.
There you go.
What about over Easter? So Steve already has The Martian on his list.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. I think
watch over Easter.
Yeah, because I'm genuinely excited for that. I mean, I would have checked out on Monday before us, but I had a busy weekend, so looking forward to that.
So what are we going to set ourselves to watch over Easter, boys? That is the question.
I think Old Boy 2013 is a good one to compare
Old Boy
to.
2013.
Let's do it.
I mean, I'll see what I can do. I am out of the country all Easter, so that could be a problem.
Even if it's
But I will try.
Even if
Bank
it's just
holiday
a
Monday.
big critique of what on earth are these people doing, trying to match this.
Well, if we're all free Bank Holiday Monday, round mine, watch Old Boy 2013, and we just sit there with notepads going, oh, what is this rubbish?
That'd be good. And I'll check out The Martian. I think that's
Nice.
That'd be absolutely.
So our
Easy.
film to I don't think to watch with pleasure, more like watch with a critical eye.
Yeah.
Is the 2013 version of Old Boy,
Yeah.
which hopefully we'll have a critical review of when we come back after the Easter break.
And for the students out there, check out us. Definitely check it
Yeah.
out.
I've not seen it at all.
After the film, me and Steve were like, yeah, a bit of a weird one, really.
I sat there for a minute or two.
Yeah,
just
we were
like
just
staring.
we're like,
Oh,
kind of taking it in, thinking where to place it, really. And I think that's a testament to how good the film is.
Yeah.
He is kind of setting up a new genre almost out of it. It's
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd go that far, but it is good. It makes you think a lot, and I want to watch it again. A bit like Old Boy, to take in a lot.
For those of you out there who, I'm a big horror fan, so I wasn't phased by the thought of it, but I personally feel like the trailer paints it to be this really scary slasher horror. Admittedly, it can be quite graphic, but I think you hit the nail on the head, Will, with it. It's more of a thriller mystery,
Yeah, for sure.
so to speak. It's not scary.
I
to
wouldn't
speak.
label. Maybe the opening sequence. That felt like the trailer for me. That felt like when she was walking through.
Oh, yeah.
That I was like, oh, this has got the horror vibe to it. And then after that opening sequence,
Yeah.
we'll talk about it one day, I think, because there's a lot to talk about it for
But
sure.
If any of you are out there and you've seen the trailer, and you're like, oh my god, I'm not watching that, not a chance. Don't be put off by it. It's not your stereotypical horror film. You're not gonna see demons in the night and have nightmares, like that type of vibe. It's
And it didn't rely on cheesy jump scares or anything like that at all, did it?
personally think there was a single jump. Someone said there's one. I didn't personally see one. One thing got me. I can't remember what it was, but there's no cheap jump scares. I thought it was a solid film. Now I've had that to sit on me, I'd say that was up there an 8, maybe even an 8.5. Not an old, different compared to Old Boy, but for horrors,
it's a different scale of numbers.
Yeah, for horrors, I feel like it's a bit more lenient on the star system.
Bit more lenient. Oh, right. Well, so Old Boy 2013 is our Easter mission, as it were. Now, obviously, moving on to the last thing, it is Tune of the Week. I don't want to play a pitch shifted Steve again, or shall I?
Oh well, you're more than welcome to. I think Tune of the Week. Nice.
There it is.
It's weird hearing my own voice back.
Oh, it's especially T-pained, as you
Nice.
so quietly put it. So this week, only one track. The hype train is in full effect. One of my favourite bands of all time ever, Feeder, has released a new song in the first time in like 2.5 years. So my hype train is very much left the station and is roaring towards when their album is coming out in August, I want to say. So Feeder, Fear of Flying. It sounds like, if you've ever heard Feeder before, they did like Buck Rogers, 7 Days in the Sun, classics. It was on the Gran Turismo 2 and Gran Turismo 3 soundtracks, if you've ever played them. And it's a song called Fear of Flying. It's back to like classic Feeder sound. Sounds amazing. Hype train, woo woo. There you go.
Nice.
10 out of 10.
Awesome.
Would listen again.
Quick and simple.
Nice. That is it. So, Feeder, Fear of Flying, one of my personal favourite bands of all time ever. If you don't like it, then tough.
Fair enough.
Pretty much.
There you have it.
I'm an avid Feeder fan. When I saw them live once, I flipped my head. It was amazing.
Dry bones.
Yep. I just did constant backflips. No, I wish I could backflip. That would be cool. Otherwise, so I'll put that obviously on the Where's My Kit Bag playlist, which apparently people can't find. So always check out the link in the SoundCloud upload because the link to it is always there. But I'll see why you can't search for it. I think it's very weird. I'll see what Spotify's doing. Anywho, otherwise, that has been the Where's My Kit Bag podcast for this week before the Easter break. We'll have a new episode the other side of Easter with obviously a summary of the NAB show. So hopefully there'll be loads of camera gear and lenses and all sorts coming out from that. We can talk to you about Till Our Heart's Content, as well as our review of Old Boy 2013.
And The Martian.
From Steve's Martian.
And anything else we encounter over the 2 weeks. I feel like there's going to be a big episode when we get back. Don't know why. But I just feel like
a bumper episode.
Yeah.
Well, we would have had 2 weeks of content to fill.
Yeah.
That's what will happen. So yeah, if you want us to discuss anything that you spot over the Easter break, Steve, how can they get in touch with us?
At F6 Media Film for Twitter and Instagram. You can hit us up on the TechNet YouTube channel. So if you're listening on YouTube, just scroll down and pop us a comment if anything you like there. Or if there's anything you want to message us personally in regards to maybe Film of the Week requests, any tunes that you like, or you're interested in a TechNet video, or you got some tech news, or you want to be shouted out, technet@farnborough.ac.uk.
Boom.
That was a big plug.
Like it. I love in the plugs.
Yeah.
Steve's plug.
Yep. Shout out to this week's TechNet Choice winner. It was a video. It's a video this week.
Oh,
it's actually pretty sweet.
Really cool.
whose is it?
Addison.
Yes.
Addison
nice.
Rothwell. I think
First shout out actually for the name basis. So
Name drop.
nice one for that. Yeah, so stay tuned for TechNet Choice. Start dropping videos in because I've only done photographs so far, and this is the first video.
Nice.
It's a nice one.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Right. Well, on that lovely ending, I've been James.
I'm Will.
And I'm Steve.
And this has been the Where's My Kit Bag podcast.
Thanks for listening to the Where's My Kit Bag podcast. Feel free to drop us a comment about anything you want us to cover in the section below, or hit us up on Instagram, Twitter at F6 Media and Film.